They cancel you before you can even express a countervailing political thought.
Did you catch this? What happened with her?
Just
Razor?
a little bit. She got shit on by somebody and basically clapped back.
Right. So, Blaz, I'll tell you, I'll let you lead this story here because
Okay.
this is interesting.
Right, so basically what happened was, you know that the South Park episode came out, right? That was ripping Disney and the other side apart, and everyone thought it was amazing, hysterical, because it was pretty funny. This one YouTuber who apparently has shit on other people in the past, like G and all that, came out and took a giant dump on Gina Carano, and she was basically like, enough is enough. She took the gloves off, and she revealed a lot of interesting stuff. So that's the tweet where she wrote, like, in response to South Park. And then there was a follow-up part after it where she wrote, like, a massive essay. And she had, revealed, this was never revealed before, that Disney wanted her to unfollow YouTubers who were being mean to Kathleen Kennedy, which I think is hysterical. Disney overlords be like, you can't follow these people. They're mean to Kathleen. Get rid of them. And she's like, no. And then she basically reinstated how they wanted her to go to re-education on a Zoom call with like 40 other people for beep, bop, boop and all that. And she basically was backing up the YouTubers saying, hey, their points are valid. Instead of ostracizing them and, you know, making everything political, you went the other route of inclusivity instead of being, you know, bringing everyone together, excluding politics. They were like nitpicking and doubling down on all politics. And she's like, well, now your stocks are down and everyone kind of hates you and you're acting like the Empire in Star Wars trying to squash the rebellion. And so she was basically correlating Disney to the Empire, and I think that's amazing because, you know, she's the next Star Wars actress who just did that. And yeah, she basically just slapped and shit all over Disney saying, hey, you guys are fucking up, and instead of owning it, acknowledging it, and then saying you're sorry for your mistakes, you're doing the complete opposite, and you're not going to have any fans.
Disney aren't the Empire. The Empire had competent leadership. What the fuck?
That's also true. This
is pretty brutal. So, side note, don't say the Force is female and then only allow men to express their political views online. It's like,
well,
yeah.
That's because she's talking about Pedro Pascal, who did a lot of political stuff that was pretty shitty.
Right.
And he didn't get in trouble for it whatsoever, but Gina Carano says something that's not even considered political at all. She was just saying, hey, love your neighbor. And they're like, you're fired. So that's what that was in talk about, which is crazy.
And now Pedro Pascal's doing a homo western, I guess.
Yeah, he's like
a Brokeback Mountain thing.
Everything. Yeah, so you know, rules for thee but not for me type of deal when it comes to Disney, where they shit on the female for, you know, saying what she wants to say, but not Pedro.
Plenty of riding, but not a lot of horses.
And this is pretty brutal. She says, they fired and dehumanized people like me who did absolutely nothing wrong, all to virtue signal to people like you, the yes men. But yes men, unfortunately for you and them, don't drive culture. Maybe they're banking on the kids picking up the slack. But one of the best things about this franchise is passing it from generation to generation to share. The competition is too high to throw out something as valuable as that. Why would one generation pass it on when you've disrespected and thrown them away? That's
right.
Brutal,
She's
man.
Shit all over them, and like I said, she came out and said that, hey, Disney wanted me to unfollow these YouTubers just on Twitter just because they thought differently and said something against Kathleen Kennedy. Like, that says something a lot. Like, wow, you can't even follow people with different political opinions and stuff on Twitter. That's sad.
When you saw this, Razor, what were your thoughts on
I
this?
didn't read the whole thing.
It's a lot.
It did look like this is actually the first I'm hearing about all those details. It doesn't surprise me in the slightest that she was asked to unfollow people, I know that they monitor social media and pay attention to who you're following and whatnot. This isn't the first. I'm trying to think of the example that I heard before, but this is not the first time that we've heard rumblings of, oh, they keep track of this actor and that actor. You can't follow this person. You can't interact with this person. It's probably true of bands with record contracts too, with, you know, woke record companies. It's probably true. It's definitely true of journalistic endeavors. And hey, look at what happened even in a much smaller context with what's her name? Caroline? The girl from Limited Run Games, right? That's exactly what happened to her. And they shit canned her entirely because she followed the wrong fucking people. this is how they police your conduct. They don't even give you the opportunity to be a vocal, like, let's say it's conservative that they're afraid of. They don't even give you an opportunity to be a vocal conservative. They cancel you before you can even express a countervailing political thought. That's the idea. They want to keep that, they want to square that circle so airtight that there will be no contrary opinions whatsoever, which is really the goal, right? They want you to be thinking constantly about if every single tweet that you send, if every single thing that you say in interviews or whatever is going to, pass ESG muster, because that is how they dictate your behavior. And thus they get to dictate the behavior of your fans through that. That's really what that is. It's like social engineering, really.
The trickle down effect, the idea that you need to be you're a part of our club. And if you don't speak and think the way you want, then you're out of our club. And that's just insane to me. And yeah, she's 100% right. And I think that she's been validated in a lot of her beliefs and a lot of the things that she said over the last, couple of years since the whole Cara Dune thing went down. Obviously, Drunk 3PO over at Geeks and Gamers, he's pretty good buddies with her over there. And I wonder if if Jay's actually spoken to her about this. And she's developed the reputation of being counterculture. I mean, that's a counterculture to everything that Disney is. Disney was this beacon of entertainment. And, I think for a lot of people, her firing was the wake-up call that this is not exactly, this is pretty fucked up. Then when you
and it was bad because it was The Mandalorian, which was the thing that brought back a lot of people that shouldn't have given Disney a second chance. Let's be real. Like at the time I was like, guys, really? This is what's bringing you back? A dude pausing in front of like widescreen spaghetti Western shots periodically and kind of a lame ass sort of pseudo Western, but everyone gave it a second chance. Some people, my contrarian ass was warning people, and then it turns out, yeah, it actually is the same old Disney ultimately. And I mean,
she says that in her Twitter on that giant tweet saying the Mandalorian season 1 was slowly bringing some people back, and then you just went and shit all over it again.
Yeah, absolutely. They could have they did get momentum back. You remember how fucking hot Mandalorian was when it first came out. It was huge. It was basically exactly what the fanboys wanted.
I was watching something over the weekend that really brought me back to the
Muppets.
No, I was not, but I was watching an animatronic figure. I was watching Gizmo. Gizmo from
the Gremlins.
Gremlins, yeah. My kids saw it.
It used to scare me as a kid.
My daughter, who's 9, saw it, and she's like, "Hey, it's like Baby Yoda." And I've come to the realization that you could just put a tiny little like cute figure,
like a Furby.
Like a little Furby. Kids love Furbies. You just throw that shit in a movie, and it'll probably be huge.
Oh yeah, they tried to do that with what's the one from Last Jedi? Babu Frick. They tried to do it with Babu
that's
Frick.
Episode 9.
Oh, they tried that.
Rise of Skywalker. Babu Frick, and then they tried even more with the Porgs. That's what you're thinking of, the Porgs in Last Jedi.
The Porgs. Thank you.
They get roasted on the spit and everything. Chewbacca was like, yeah.
And it's transparently put in there for that reason.
Oh yeah, it was just for March.
And then they planted all those stories in the press. Oh, look at this cute little baby. He must be protected and blah, blah. I forget what the exact headlines were, but they were distilled essence. I cringed out of my fucking skin. It was terrible. And they were so obviously planted ahead of the movie's release.
It was all for merch, and then didn't even sell that well because none of the sequel merch.
Oh yeah, Babu Frick never did a fucking thing.
But what do you think about this? Leave us a comment down below. We read every single one of them. Also, make sure you hit the subscribe button because you have found your home for common sense in the gaming and entertainment worlds.